Cooperative housing in New South Wales has a long history of over 25 years. It has provided affordable, high-quality rental accommodation for households with low incomes. Housing cooperatives reflect socially and culturally diverse groups who, unlike any other community housing, work collaboratively to manage their own housing. Over 30 housing cooperatives in New South Wales work in partnership with Common Equity New South Wales. Together, they self-manage over 500 properties, property maintenance, and ensure continuing success of the program. In the last 2 years, Common Equity and Cooperative Housing have registered as a community housing provider and are working together to improve opportunities and successes for social inclusion, tenant participation, and progression through education. These stories are testament to the continuing successes and commitment to grow cooperative housing as a contemporary housing solution that empowers its members to support each other and make real contributions to our community. We've been living here since 1995, so it's going on to 17, 18 years. And prior to that, we were 9 years waiting for the place to be built after our initial involvement into the submission. And then it was a glorious day of moving in 1995. We realised earlier on that the government wasn't going to give us studio space. Other projects that had tried to start up at that time, that was the reason that they failed in getting into the projects, because they wanted studio space. And what we wanted was housing. We selected our architects, we worked with the architects to design these units to be adaptable. We've gone from having like families with 3 or 4 kids, having quite large units, 4-bedroom units, and over those years those kids have grown up. We've adapted those units back to either a single unit for that single mum, and that also then created another unit. And we've also adapted units from 2-bedroom units, losing 1 bedroom on one side over to the other unit for a 3-bedroom unit for the family. Those kids then grew up. We then moved back the bedroom again because that single person that was living in that became a single mum, and so now she's got a 2-bedroom unit for her and a son. I've actually moved out once and moved back in again with a partner at that time, and then the person that was left in that unit had moved on in that time, and the co-op asked if I wanted to come back, which I did, and the 2 of us moved back in there into a 2-bedroom unit. And then that relationship broke up, and then got involved with Beth. And when this space up here became vacant, when one of our rare times when someone actually left, and we moved up in here as a couple. I'd never had any intentions of really starting a family or anything, but as those things go, suddenly we were a family. And with Casper along the way, we decided that we needed to adapt the space again to suit a family. We've always realised that it's an artist co-op, but families are a big part of normal living, whether you're an artist or not. Living with groups of people, we soon sort of realise that there are people who enjoy the space but aren't necessarily gardeners or handymen or want to bang nails into wood. So we're quite lucky that we've got a few people who are quite skillful like that. So we run little projects like that to benefit the whole of the membership. By council requirements at that time, we were required to have X amount of parking spaces. Now that didn't mean that we have X amount of drivers here. I mean, I don't drive, and my family doesn't drive. So like parking spaces as an internal space was a waste of space for us. We had to build it, but that's turned into basically our recreation area down there, outside recreation. We do have a space downstairs as a common room. If we need to have space, which we can't use in our own spaces here, for a big project like a big sculptural project or something, then they could use that space down there, but it's not a permanent individual space. We did a joint project between the units here, and four of the artists, like the fine artists, where we've had a show together at Chrissy Cotter Gallery, which is in a inner city Marrickville Gallery, which was quite a successful show. As a cartoonist, I was a fairly solitary sort of artist, as cartoonists can tend to be. We've managed to come together as some of the projects that we've done here, working with people, working with tenants, working with Beth as well, who uses a lot of our friends here for things that she does, and working once again with that space downstairs where we've had workshops for stenciling, painting, for groups of children. A lot of sort of community things can happen there. We went for years not calling ourselves an artist community, an artist co-op. We felt it was much more important to promote ourselves as a family space. But since we've realised we don't really have to hide behind that, we don't see the fact that we're artists anymore as a as a problem. Now that we've openly declared that we're artists here in whatever field that may be, I think there's more and more opportunities locally for the community to get, or for this community to get involved with the broader community out there, and we'll all benefit from seeing our presence in the suburb being more recognised and appreciated.